Hi and welcome. My name is Jodi. I'm in my living room for 2021. We are back at it, Krannert Art Museum, offering more free yoga to the community for the duration of the spring semester. So I'm really grateful to be here and to continue to offer this practice now more than ever. So you'll want to have some props for the class. You can have a bolster or firm pillow from the couch, a couple of blocks. You can always use a strap just in case. And then a blanket or several blankets depending on what you need. So we'll go ahead and we'll just start seated today. So you can come to the earth, just a comfortable cross-legged seated position. I always like to use a bit of support, like the blanket folded, just coming to seated on that clean edge of the blanket, that non-fringy edge. Oh, there's Kitty. See if you can ground through the shins and the knees, and if that's not possible, you can always support yourself with additional support like blankets, or even the blocks can be underneath the knees. This is not just physical, but also for the nervous system. And then from there, just a little bit of rocking from side to side. Think about rooting the sit bones, rooting the pelvis into the support, into the earth, eventually finding a place that feels balanced from side to side for you. You can slouch in the posture, round through the spine, and then just see what it takes from that strong foundation to grow the spine tall. Taking some rolls through shoulders up, back and down. So just beginning the practice. Beginning to welcome yourself onto the mat. Beginning to breathe with a deeper awareness. You can take a cleansing breath together, breathing in through the nose as you draw shoulders up towards the ears and out through the mouth as you draw the shoulders back and down. Do that a couple more times. Sometimes the rituals of breath can help us set the tone for the practice. So whatever rituals you create, allow those to happen. Maybe it's essential oils, maybe it's a way of breathing, maybe it's an intention that you set. Eventually the eyes can close, or you can soften your gaze. The hands can rest on thighs or knees. Again, just bring the awareness to the breath, even if it feels challenging. If the mind feels busy and scattered, just letting that be the practice. Returning to the breath. And if you're more of a tactile person, it can be a nice practice to place one hand at your heart, one hand at the belly. See if you can sense the beating of the heart. And then just riding the waves of the breath in the belly. No judgment here, just this moment, this breath. Letting that help you find a moment of calm and focus. If you haven't done so already, you can form an intention for this practice. I always like to think of this as planting seeds of thought. And we can cultivate these ideas, these seeds on the mat, staying true to ourselves, letting them guide us. And then as you're ready, you can can softly open the eyes, focused gaze. And then just relaxing the arms down alongside the body. Reaching long through the arms, draw the shoulders down and back, open your heart, and toning through the core, connecting to the breath, finishing an exhalation. The next inhalation allows the arms to float up, palms touching. Maybe the gaze can lift slightly, and then exhale as you draw the hands through heart center, press the palms together. And then reaching arms out and up, inhaling, toning upper back body. Uplifted energy in the spine, long through the side waist, palms touch, dragging the hands through heart center. A couple more times on your own, deep, even breaths. Breathing into the fullness of the lungs. One more time, just like that. Inhaling, expanding, opening, lifting. And exhale as if you're grounding that energy into yourself, into the heart. And then begin to interlace the fingers. Start to press the palms away. Nice and slow. Just notice the fingers, notice the wrists, the hands. Start to stretch and reach, maybe rounding, bowing, softening. Head heavy, finishing an exhalation, and then as you inhale, keeping fingers interlaced, draw the biceps by the ears, arch the spine, slightly lift the gaze. And then exhale, rounding. Arms come more parallel to the earth, tuck the tailbone, tucking the chin, knees heavy, legs heavy, inhale, opening, expanding, reaching. One more time, finishing that exhalation with that roundedness in the spine, separating the shoulder blades, and then inhaling, palms skyward, arch the spine, release the fingertips, and then just float the arms down alongside your body. Left palm to the earth, inhale the right arm up, and then over. Keeping that right side of the body heavy. And then reaching long through the spine, fingertips reach skyward, and then grounding that right palm, inhale the left arm up. And exhale over. And then just moving with the breath from side to side, never holding the breath. So if you need additional breath, as you flow, as you move, by all means, take that breath. Just swaying the body, moving the torso, moving the spine. Notice what you can feel here, especially as you breathe fully. Body opening over time. One more time, from side to side. See if you can focus the mind on the movements, on the sensation, and on the breath. And arriving, coming back through your center, you can roll through the shoulders up, back, and down. Beginning to plant the palms alongside the hips and lengthen through the legs. Inner legs zip together, so energetically pressing the inner legs together, and you can press into the earth, arch the spine, squeeze the shoulder blades, inhaling, lift the gaze. And exhale that roundedness in the spine once again. Tuck the chin, tucking the tailbone. And then inhale, pressing the palms into the earth, press into fingertips and knuckles as you arch and reach. And then exhale that rounded opening in the back body. A couple more times like that. Moving with your breath. And one more time. Inhaling. Feel that expansion in the front of the body, the length in the spine. Exhale. As you stay rounded here, you can start to bend one knee, bend the other. Let the feet go wide, hands to the knees, and just hang back. See if you can puff up through the back body and breathe. Breathing into the back ribs. Head is heavy here. So you're opening into shoulders and neck. One more breath. Just coming to a more neutral spine. If you're on any kind of support, like I am, like that blanket, you can just move that off to the side, keeping the palms alongside the hips, just a little bit of movement of the knees from side to side. Think about massaging into the outer hips. So it should just feel good. And then you can grow this movement a bit more, swaying the knees a bit more from side to side. And releasing the knees over to the right side, just twisting all the way to the right. Right hand to the earth, left hand to the thigh for leverage, for support. The gaze is over that right shoulder. Breathing here. One more breath. And then just releasing out of the twist. You can use hands free, maybe arms parallel to the earth. Draw the knees through center and then to the other side. Twisting all the way to that side. Left hand to the earth, right hand to the thigh. Inhale. Lengthen the spine. Exhale. Find more rotation. The gaze again over the shoulder without forcing anything in the neck. Think about lengthening the spine from the tailbone through the crown of the head as you breathe. And one more breath. And twisting out of this pose, arms can come parallel to the earth as you draw the knees through center. And then bring the soles of the feet together. It's a gentle cobbler's pose. So making sure the feet are symmetrical in space. Not necessarily in need of anything to support yourself here. We're going to use a little bit of effort. So soles of the feet pressing, pelvic floor engaged, core active. The palms of the forearms pressing into the tops of the thighs, and draw the thighs into the hands or the forearms. So feeling that energetic lift, the effort. Keep breathing. Relaxing any tension in the face and in the jaw. One more breath. And then just releasing that effort for a moment. Knees relaxed, core relaxed. And then hands can press to the bottom edges of the knees as you drive the knees down towards the earth. Again, pelvic floor is active, core is active, spine is tall. Just breathe here. Using all that effort to drive the knees down. So really subtle. Anyone observing this might not really be able to see all the effort that's going into this. One more breath. And then just releasing that effort. And for a moment, you can just flutter the knees nice and slow, up and down. Think about building strength in the muscles that allow for this hip rotation. So very slow, controlled butterfly, up and down. And then from here, just begin to extend the legs out. Doesn't have to be super wide, and again, you can have support. Maybe you need support under the knees with some blankets. Perhaps you want to be seated on a blanket. From here, you can just start to flex and point through the feet. Again, we're not going into our deepest stretch. We're just beginning to observe. I've got some tension in my left ankle, just an old injury. Noticing that, so I don't just fly into a down dog and strain that. So noticing where you're at with your body today. And you can start to rock the legs forward and back. So really subtle, forward and back. The whole femur bone moving in that hip socket, legs extended out wide. And again, really subtle movements. We're not forcing anything. It's our lifelong practice. It's just one step on the journey. A couple more times, rocking the legs. My toes are pointed, but yours can be flexed. Just active all the way through the legs. And then from here, a little bit of a sway of the torso. You can think about the sit bones staying evenly grounded, but notice if they're lifting. See if you can root the legs, root through the pelvis, and a sway of the torso from side to side. And breathe. Everything should feel good, no sharpness, no pain with all of these movements. And then just arriving, coming back through center, hinging forward at the hips. You can tone through the legs. Fingertips or palms to the earth, or maybe to a block. So if you need to bring the earth up a little bit to meet you, then use your props. Taking 3 breaths here. And starting to grow your spine tall, rocking the torso back. Hands to the backs of the thighs, using a little arm strength to draw the knees in. You can move props out of the way, off to the side. And start to cross over the shins, bending the knees, coming into a tabletop position. And spread through the fingers. Connect to the breath. Inhale, lift the gaze, lift the tailbone. Just open the heart here for a moment. Pressing into fingertips, pressing into knuckles. And breathe. And then start to round the spine. As you exhale, tuck the tailbone, tucking the shin into the chest. Again, press into fingertips, press into knuckle. Draw the low belly in and up. Open up through the back body. One more breath. And then just a more relaxed spine as you start to circle through the hips, clockwise or counterclockwise. Stay connected to the breath. And start to circle in the opposite direction. Coming back through center, stilling any movement. Starting to curl the toes under and spread them out. Start to walk your hands back. You can keep the hands to the ground. The hips are heavy over the heels, and you should feel a stretch in the toes and in the soles of the feet. And from here you can shift the hips from side to side. So it's just a version of broken toe with a bit more support through the hands. Again, just not exciting the body, not disrupting. A sense of connection and peace. Just an awareness and an opening. A connection to the breath always. Coming back through center, stilling the movement, walk the hands forward, untuck the toes. You can lightly tap the tops of the feet into the earth. Just finding that nice long neutral spine. And spread through the fingers, press into fingertips, knuckles, extend the left leg out. Draw the low belly in and up, engage the core, press the mat away. Then lift the leg up and over to the right, grounding the ball of the foot back to the earth. Inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, just bring the gaze over that right shoulder. See if you can catch a glimpse of the left heel. Draw the left hip away from the left shoulder, really expand through that left side body. Active through the legs still. One more breath. Bring the neck back to neutral. And tone through the muscles of the leg to draw the leg up and then draw the knee in. Back to a tabletop. Extend that right leg out. Tone through the core. Press the mat away. Lift the leg up and over. Ground through the ball of the foot. Inhale, lengthen. And then exhale again. That gaze is over that left shoulder. really actively lengthening through the right leg, lifting the back of the knees skyward, breathing. Feel that expanded quality on the right side. One more breath. And then again, the neck is neutral. You can draw the knee up and then in, back into tabletop. From here, rounding the spine, pressing the mat away, sink the hips heavily back to the heels, just coming into a child's pose. Forehead can come to the earth, or maybe stacking the hands or stacking the fists. Again, we're bringing the earth to our bodies, not forcing the body to the earth. 3 deep breaths here. And then just begin to stretch long through the arms. The wrists are in line with the shoulders. The elbows lift. You can lift your gaze to your fingers and then start to lift the hips up and back as you curl the toes under, lengthening through the spine. Head is heavier in your downward facing dog. An invitation to pedal out. Bending one knee, bend the other. So walking the dog, swaying the hips, swaying the head. Sensing the body and its needs in this pose, in this shape. Checking in with shoulders. Checking in with the breath. One more breath. Starting to flip forward into plank. So the top of a push-up, strong here, again, pressing the mat away, core is active. Your choice to lower knees to the earth or not. Preparing for chaturanga, take a deep inhalation. As you exhale, lower down, keeping that long line of energy in the torso, in the spine, as you slowly make your way to the belly. And then propping yourself up gently on forearms, coming into Sphinx. So forearms parallel to one another, elbows below the shoulders. Think about the collarbones spreading. Toning through the legs, lengthen through the spine, tailbone releasing towards the heels. And here as well, the pelvis glued to the earth, a little bit of a sway of just the torso from side to side. Just notice how that feels. Notice where you feel that. Think about creating space in your body. Another sway from side to side. Coming back through center and really toning through the back body. See how much you can keep the heart lifted, the torso lifted as you draw the palms under the shoulders, elbows hug into the midline, neck is neutral, inhale here. And as you exhale and press the mat away, you flow through the knees or just lifting up and back with strength, back into a down dog. Just 3 deep breaths here, resetting the body. Maybe that last third breath is a cleansing breath as you breathe in through the nose. Open the mouth, exhale. Then start to separate the feet. Let them go as wide as the mat as you begin to walk your hands back towards your feet. Take your time, knees can soften. Spread through the toes, broaden through the soles of the feet. Might feel good to rock back and forth from toe to heel, heel to toe. May feel good to sway the torso from side to side. You'll find your own variation. Perhaps holding on to either elbow. Just a few breaths in whatever variation feels appropriate, intuitive for your own body. And one more breath. Starting to bend the knees deeply. Start to press the palms into the thighs. Think about aligning the spine first, keeping the knees bent, and then lengthen through the legs as you rise through standing. Once you do arrive here, just taking some rolls through shoulders, up, back, and down. One more time, just rolling through the shoulders, finding that expansion in the heart, lengthening in the spine. You can bring your hands to your hips, the feet about hip distance apart. You're starting to circle through the hips. Just an awareness in the hip flexors, the psoas, those hip creases, where there's tension, where there's resistance to this movement. Knees should feel safe. And then circling in the opposite direction. Arriving back through center, starting to step the feet out nice and wide, coming into a horse stance. So the toes and the knees are angling out. Tuck the tailbone, engage the glutes, so the buttock muscles active. As you start to sink the hips low, start to drive the knees out away from one another. And then you can rise by pressing the feet into the earth and finding length through the legs, spine is tall. And then exhale, feel that grounding energy, drive the knees away. And inhale, rise. And exhale, sink low. Start to walk the hands out. You can press the palms into the inner edges of the legs. Tuck the tailbone. Core is still active, glutes are active. Inhale here. And then exhale, relaxing that right shoulder down, gazing over the left shoulder. Keep driving the knees away from one another. Keep engaging the glutes. Inhale through center, lengthen. And then exhale, left shoulder down. Gazing over the right shoulder, finding that twist in the spine. Inhale back through center. We'll do one more time from side to side. And breathing fully, one last time, twisting, gazing over that right shoulder. And then arriving, coming back through center. You can press the feet into the earth, strengthen through the legs, rising, coming back through standing. Moment here to heel to toe the feet closer together, just standing in your mountain pose, strong and stable. And from here, drawing the arms up, you can take hold of the left wrist with the right hand, and then draping that left foot over the right. Inhale, lengthen, and then exhale, opening up that left side body. Keeping that left bicep by the ear. Grounding as much as you're able through the feet. One more breath. Finding a tall spine, fingertips reaching skyward. Release that left foot to the earth. Spread the toes, broaden through the sole of the foot as you take hold of the right wrist with the left hand, draping the right foot over the left, and opening up the right side body. Breathe. You're just making a C shape with the body. As much as you're able. No forcing. One more breath. Releasing. Stepping out of this. Feet can go about hip distance as you float to the arms alongside the body. And then just a little washing machine. Sway the arms from side to side. Again, protect the knees as you twist the torso from side to side, maybe lightly tapping the torso with the hands. Again, just mindful of knee joints here. A couple more times. From side to side, eventually slowing the movement back through center. And start to roll through shoulders a little bit, just a little bit of free-flowing movement. Reset, shake it out. Let it go. Stepping the feet out wide once again. We're going to build a warrior two. So from here, you're just going to angle the right toes to the short end of the mat and pigeon toe the left toes in. You should have a heel to arch alignment in the foot, in both feet. So tone through the core, lengthen the spine, hands to the hips, inhale. As you exhale, sink the hips low just by bending through that right knee. And then that knee stays tracking over the ankle. As you inhale, lengthen through that leg once again. And then exhale, sink the hips. Track the knee out towards the pinky toe, open the hips. Inhale, find length. Exhale, sink low. One more time. Inhale. I keep separating my feet. Exhale, sinking, because I'm recognizing each time I'm getting a bit more opening. Oftentimes the restriction and the resistance comes from that inner thigh, inner leg, maybe the adductor muscles, it might be psoas. So from here we're growing the pose. Core is active, palms, forearms, arms themselves parallel to the earth. Finishing an exhalation, and then we can move here as we lengthen through that front leg, reaching fingertips skyward, lengthen the spine, and then exhale, sinking back into warrior two. Inhale, finding length. Exhale, finding that sinking. A couple more times on your own, really toning through the legs. Feel that strong foundation supporting you. And one more time. Inhale. This time as you exhale, you can cartwheel the hands down. Frame that front foot. Sweep it back into plank. It's your choice if you vinyasa or just down dog. So inhale, preparing. Exhale, lowering. Inhale, cobra in. Exhale, back into down dog or child's pose. Just a moment here. Couple breaths. Sensing the body, checking in. Let's all meet together in down dog. So you can lift that right leg up, inhale. Exhale, step it through. Grounding the back heel. Keep that front knee bent as you windmill up, warrior two. Inhale, reaching fingertips skyward. Pivot all 10 toes in the same direction, and then just building warrior two on the other side, hands to the hips, start to bend through that left knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend and open through the hips. Feel that expanded quality, really active through the legs. Exhale, sink low, resisting any urge to move the torso forward. So it's really just about sinking the hips. We're just working with the foundation of the body. And the next time you exhale and sink into your warrior two, we're going to float. The arms are parallel to the earth. Connecting to the breath here, we can move here as well. So inhale, reaching, lengthening. Exhale, grounding, arms come back parallel to the earth. Inhale, so still working on the foundation. It's all about the foundation. Spread toes, broaden through feet, legs active, strong. And that's what gives the support to the upper body to move with support. One more time, inhaling. And then as you exhale again, you can cartwheel the hands down, framing that foot. Sweep it back, your choice to vinyasa, down dog, or just child's pose. Just 3 breaths as you come into your resting pose. Again, it's down dog or child's pose, your choice. One more breath. Starting to release your knees to the earth. You're coming to seated on shins. You can shift your hips to one side. And sweep the legs out in front. Want to make sure you've got everything that you need for your Shavasana. We're not there yet, but that way you don't have to reach for it when it's time. Bending knees, planting feet. Hands to the backs of the thighs, tall spine. Rocking back. Core is active in boat pose. You can stay, or you can float shins. You can stay here, or arms come out parallel to the earth. You can play with lengthening legs, lengthening arms. Wherever you're at, you're just going to slowly come onto your back. See how much control you can maintain along the way. And as you arrive, lengthen out through the body. Arms long, legs long. Spread the fingers, spread the toes. You can open and close the mouth. Yawning, breathing. Sighing. Floating the arms down alongside the body, shoulders draw down away from ears, bending one knee, bend the other. A moment here, just tuck the tailbone, press the low back into the earth. Keep breathing here. Pressing the feet solidly into the earth as you peel the tailbone and the pelvis, the low back off of the earth. You're just on shoulders. Press the feet, engage the glutes, engage the hamstrings, the backs of the thighs. Not about how high you can lift, but how much engagement you can maintain here as you breathe. Soften the face, the jaw, the lips. One more inhalation. And then exhale, lowering the spine down, tailbone meets the mat last. It's that slow, controlled release. Back down to the earth. Resting the inner knees together as you bend the elbows and open your heart. Goalpost arms, cactus arms. Heel to toe the feet out wide, keeping the knees gently resting against one another. You can inhale here, then exhale, knees to the right, gaze to the left. You can make this more passive, just letting gravity, time, and breath do all of the work. Or more active, you can actively drive that left knee away from that left hip, getting that beautiful opening through that left side. A couple more breaths here. Gazing skyward, the knees draw back together, let them rest against one another for a moment. Inhale. And then exhale, knees over to the left, gazing over the right shoulder. Again, it's your choice, more active, more passive. What do you need on this side? Breathe. One more breath. And take your time, drawing the knees back together, back through center, back of the head resting on the earth, heart is open, belly soft, melting into gravity. Taking it all in. Starting to separate the knees. You can heel to toe the feet closer together and hug the knees into the chest. That might be enough to finish your practice. Or maybe you want a little happy baby. Taking hold of the pinky toe edges of the feet. Feet go skyward, a deep bend in the knees. Might feel good to rock from side to side with either position. So whatever you need to feel complete in your practice. So as you transition to your Shavasana, you want to feel fully supported. Again, it's about the nervous system. So I often like to use a bolster. Just having a pillow, again, a hard cushion from the couch can work. The knees go wide. The arms are alongside the body. Tuck the shoulders down away from ears. You can rock the head a little from side to side. And maybe you want a blanket on top. Something, again, to support you. Not that you're cold, but just contain the body, to ground yourself. Let the eyes close. Give yourself permission to simply rest here. Begin to deepen your breath, preparing your body for movement. Beginning to move fingers, move toes, ankles, wrists, bending elbows, all the joints, stretching arms overhead, opening and closing the mouth into a yawn, into a deeper breath. Bending one knee, bend the other. Let the feet plant on the bolster or the earth. Final stretch for the low back. Staying mindful in your movements. Begin to roll gently to either side, curling into a fetal position. Just letting the head feel supported by the arm, knees bent, belly soft. Making a conscious choice of what you want to take with you from this practice into your day. Letting this practice have meaning off of the mat. And with closed eyes or soft gaze, use the strength of the arms, pressing up. You can have a rounded spine, a heavy head. Mindful transition through seated. Bending that rooting down through sit bones, bending that tall spine, an open heart. Drawing palms together at the heart, Anjali Mudra, the seal of offering. Acknowledge this offering to yourself, this gift of time and practice. And I'm grateful for the honor to lead and guide you through this practice. Namaste. Thank you all for joining. Hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, a good weekend, and I will see you next week.